Hello everyone, welcome to Resume Workshop. So why is a resume important? Well, it gives the admission committee a bird's view of who you are. Within a 15-second scan, the admission committee knows what exactly you bring to the table, and if it's aesthetically pleasing and correctly communicated, it serves as your first step in securing an admit. Second reason why it is important is most of the recruitment starts in the month of September. You land in the month of August or September, and all of a sudden by the end of September, internship job starts. So basically you don't have time, hence you need to get your resume ready before you go there. So let me start with the resume format. So certain things you need to keep in mind. So first thing would be the size of the resume. Ideally, we would say your resume should be one pager in size. So as I said, they would not spend more than 15-20 seconds to go through your resume or to scan your resumes. Now, let's say you have a lot of content to write. You have worked for multiple companies, and by no way you can fit your resume in one page. In such cases, it's okay that you have a two-pager, but understand then it should be a complete two-page and not a 1.5 page resume. Next point, maintain consistency. So if you are using font 11, let the whole resume be font 11. If the font size is 12, let the whole resume be size 12. Keep proper margin, so approximately 1 inch in size. So why we ask you to keep a proper margin? Generally, they would print your drafts and then staple it as a file. So for this reason, if you are not keeping proper margin space, some of the content or data might be lost and it might not be readable. When you are uploading your file in the application form, always upload it as a PDF. The reason is simple. You might be using Word 2003, 2010, and the admission committee might be using a different Word format, maybe 2020, 2016, or they might be using a different operating system altogether. So the formatting would go off. For this reason, to avoid such kind of problems, always upload your final draft which you're uploading in the application form. Ensure that it is in the form of PDF. So if anyone right clicks on your file and goes to properties and then checks author detail, they could see the name of the person who has worked on your file or who has edited your file. So always ensure that in case a third person has worked on your file, just right click on it, go to details and remove or delete author detail. Avoid using shortcuts like BE or MTech, BTech. Please don't use such short forms. These are Indian short forms, they might not be aware of it. So instead of writing BE, write Bachelor of Engineering. Instead of writing BTech, use Bachelor of Technology. Also avoid using I did, I created, we worked as a team. Don't use such words. Instead, start every sentence with an action verb. Design, develop, created. I will speak about this in detail while we go through different sections. Apart from this, coming to your let's say educational details, coming to your professional details, always mention it in reverse chronological order. That is, the latest experience should always be at the top. Okay, so first part, the name and the contact information. Always write your complete name or your first name and last name. After this, you can mention your contact information. Now coming to contact information, what all things you can mention? That is your address, email ID and mobile number. Please make a note, while you mention your email ID, ensure that it looks professional. Many of the students make this mistake, like they write email IDs that doesn't even relate to your name, or the admission committee cannot relate it to you. Like for example, cutebarbidoll@gmail.com, smartkaratekid@hotmail.com. Please don't use such names, such email IDs. Rather, it could be a combination of your first name, last name, or your name and your date of birth, date of year, something that could be related with you. So basically anything after 12th, like you did a diploma after 12th, you did your bachelor's, you did your master's in India before applying for an MBA or a master's abroad. So any qualification after 12th you can mention. 12 details or 10 details you want to mention, yes, there is no much of content, you can definitely incorporate that. First, you will write the section title. The first line should be the college name followed by the location and the country. Now let's say DJ Sanghvi College of Engineering, Mumbai, India. And at the right corner you could mention the month and year of graduation. Let's say DJ Sanghvi College of Engineering, Manipal, India. At the rightmost corner you could mention May 2021 if you graduated in May 2021. In case you are still studying, let's say you are in your 7th or 8th semester, so you could mention like expected May 2022. So use the word expected in front of the month and year. So you don't have to mention the complete duration, just the graduation month and year should suffice. So the next line would be speaking about your degree program. Like you might be doing computer science, you might be doing civil engineering, so you might be doing architecture. So you could just mention, if you have already graduated, you could start the sentence with secured a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science, secured a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. So you could just mention this if you have already graduated. And if you are still studying, you can write something like candidate for. So because you are still studying, you are yet to complete your degree, you could write candidate for Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical. Apart from this, if you have received some honors or something, you can mention that, like if it is mentioned on your transcript, mark sheets or degree certificate, like secured a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science with distinction. So if it is below first class, please don't mention that. Similarly, your percentage, if the scores are really good, yes, please do mention that. You got a 80%, 85%, 8.8 CGPA, 9 CGPA, you could mention your CGPA at the rightmost corner. And if you have a low CGPA or a percentage like 55%, 60%, 5.8, 6.3, in that case, don't mention the CGPA. So if such is the case, you can mention a couple of lines of relevant coursework. Like let's say you are applying for masters in supply chain management and your undergrad was in mechanical engineering. So you mention certain subjects from mechanical engineering, what you did in your bachelor's, which are pertaining to your masters. So you could write around 2 lines of relevant coursework. Coming to the professional experience. Now here once again you are going to speak about all of your experience that are related to your masters. So here understand, particularly write it in the reverse chronological order. So the latest one should be at the top. So just like your previous section, you are going to start with your company name first, followed by the location and country. Let's say ABC Company, Hyderabad, India. XYZ Company, Mumbai, India. At the rightmost corner, in the education section, you wrote the month and year of completion, but here you are writing the duration. So the proper duration should be there. Apart from this, what other things can you mention? Now, second line, you can speak about your designation. Ideally, always keep the designation in italics. And after that, let's say if the company is not really known, it's not a Fortune 500 company, it might be a startup, you can write 1 or 2 lines about the company. Once you write this, next you can mention about your work role. Start every point with an action verb. So write as to what did you do and how did you do, or it can be what did you do and why did you do. Like design so and so using so and so technology, reduce the total man hour by applying so and so methodologies. Next, coming to academic projects and papers. Yes, this is mandatory basically if you're going for any technical program, engineering program, architecture, chemical. For all these things you can definitely include projects and papers. If it is arts, you might not have projects as a part of your undergrad, so you could just exclude this section. Otherwise, even let's say you're applying for some management like masters in management or any general marketing or other certain fields. So if you didn't have any relevant project, it's okay to exclude this section. But otherwise, any engineering program, you will have to include this. So here you don't really have to mention the timestamp or when what was the total duration taken to complete the project, because you might not be working full time on the project. You might be studying, and maybe on a daily basis you might be spending 1 or 2 hours to work on the project, or you might just be working on the project during the weekends. So better don't mention the timestamp of the project, rather arrange it as per the significance. Whichever project you feel has greater weightage, write it first. Whichever project you feel has lesser weightage, write it later on. So the most important one should be mentioned first. So first line, you're going to mention the title of the project. After that, you are writing what have you done in the project. So the first point should always speak about the aim of the project. So why did you develop this project, or why did you design this project? Why did you build this project? So that should always be the first point. But understand once again here, don't write the aim of the project is so and so, or I designed this project for so and so reason. Please don't write it in this way. Rather, you could say develop the project for so and so reason. For example, designed an application to help the visually impaired cross the street. So this says what was the aim of the project. So the project should include primarily 4 points. First, what did the project aim at? Then what have you done in the project? Apart from this, what technologies were used? So if you're saying that I designed XYZ technology, or I designed XYZ software, or I programmed so and so, but you are not saying the names of the softwares or technologies used to develop the particular project, it may sound fake. So whenever you are saying you created, you designed something, you have to mention how did you do that, using what technologies have you done that. Now apart from this, let's say you have received, might be you presented the project in some university level, national level, or international level, and then you might have won some awards, accolades for the same. You could definitely mention that. Apart from this, you might have also publications and papers. So once again, if it is a paper which is not published, you're just writing in a similar way to your project. You're writing the paper title, and after that you can mention what does the paper discuss about. And if it is published, you don't have to write it extensively. You could just write the whole publication in 2 bullet points maybe. The first point might be speaking about what the paper is all about, and the second line might be the citation, like published in XYZ journal, volume number, issue number, and the ISSN or ISBN number you can write. If you are not able to find ISSN or ISBN, even the DOI will do. So this is about the projects and papers. Now coming to courses and certificates. So this can be a separate section, or it can be clubbed with your extracurricular activities. It depends on how many courses, how many certifications do you have. So now let's say you have at least 3 certificates you have. Fine, it's okay to create a separate section for certificates. But if you have just 1 or 2 certification, please don't create a separate section. It is consuming unnecessary space. So as I told earlier, ideally your resume should fit in 1 page. So that should be the priority here. They are not going to spend more than 15-20 seconds to assess your resume. Now when I speak about anything, maybe professional experience, projects, certifications, so all these things, understand this should be in sync with the program you are applying. Now I have worked on some project which is in no way relevant to the masters I'm applying to. There is no point in writing that project. Similarly, I have done some certification because earlier I was not sure what masters I want to apply. I wanted to get certain understanding, hence I did a certification. But now this certification is nowhere in relevance with the master's program I'm applying to. Then don't mention about that certificate. So your resume should be related to the program you're applying. Next, coming to skills. Yes, skills are mandatory, but understand once again, it depends what program you're applying. You are applying for a master's in engineering, architecture, chemical. Yes, you would require certain skills. If it is arts, technical skills generally not required. If it is management related program, unless you have particular skills like let's say advanced Excel or certain other analytical things, let's say you are applying for marketing analytics, finance analytics or something as such. If you don't have a proper related technical skills, you can explore that sections. But let's say for engineering, yes, you have to mention this. For chemical or let's say pharma related programs, you can mention different kinds of tests that you know to conduct, different types of equipment or apparatus that you know to handle or operate. You can mention all those things under technical skills. After this, next, extracurricular activities. When it comes to extracurricular activities, some of you might have multiple things, 10, 12 things to speak about. Even if you have so much, you need to prioritize which is the most crucial one or which is the most significant one. So extracurricular activities cannot be more than 20% of your whole resume. So if it is a one pager draft, I would say maximum 4 extracurricular activities or 6 extracurricular activities max to max. This is how much you can mention. Don't mention things more than that. For example, it can be you were some member of some committee, you held a position like secretary, president of certain committees. You can mention about all these things. Apart from this, let's say you won some awards in some sports and other things. You volunteered to organize certain drives. You volunteered at some NGOs. All those things you can mention under extracurricular activities. Apart from this, there are students who might have some things which were done like 7, 8, 10 years back. Maybe you were a state level football player while you were in your high schools. See, it's too old to mention that on your resume. It doesn't really add value. So first thing, when it comes to extracurricular activities, ensure that it is latest, maybe something which was done in the last 3-4 years and not earlier to that.